Fun fact, the next 8 minutes can change your life, as the information that I'm about to share saved mine absolutely and empowers me to live a natural lifestyle. I've seen it impact the lives of thousands upon thousands of people with my own hands, with my own voice. And it's also empowered me to not get sick and also not take any and rely upon any over-the-counter pharmaceuticals the last 10 years of my life. Wow, Dr. J, is that true? Well, yes, vertebro, it is true. Let me tell you a story and let's key everyone else in, huh? Welcome to my page, everyone. My name is Dr. Jamal Fruster, and I'm a chiropractor here in Tucson for providers in particular. Providers being small business owners, healthcare professionals, leaders, educators, parents alike, people that are responsible for other individuals. I've taken care of over 15,000 people over these last several years, and I've been able to help train physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually other healthcare professionals to show up more presently and powerfully for themselves and to better take care of the lives of those around them. With that being said, I'm so excited to be able to share this video as well as a series of videos in my new clinic that's still pretty new. I'm in my 5th month here at Almasana Chiropractic Studio, which is a bilingual space to be able to take care of people taking care of everybody else. Feel free to subscribe, check out some of my other videos because I have some other workshops, and I'm really excited to put more intentional energy into my YouTube. This video is for anyone in my practice who is new or who has been rocking with me for some years, and anyone that may have found me off YouTube. So welcome, Vertebro, thank you for escorting the good people. This video is focused on understanding how chiropractic is rooted in anatomy, physiology, and neurology, and how that all developed. What does stress do, and how does that impact your life? What's my role as a chiropractor in your life, and how I can be a valuable asset and how this information can change your life, let alone lives around you. So, back in the day, there were 2 cells. One was an egg, one was a little sperm cell. These 2 came together in this beautiful bioelectric, divine, gorgeous, natural way of being able to come together in a very beautiful way. And now 2 cells become a lot more, like millions and then billions and then trillions of cells, which is a lot of zeros in case you forgot. In case you never wrote out a trillion, write out how many zeros there are and let me know how many that is. But eventually these cells become about the size of a raspberry, and after about a few weeks of developing, you have the first organ structure in the body. Do you know what it is? Some might guess that it is the heart. What I like to offer to my people is that, well, what actually controls the heart and what governs the heart? It's the state of the neurology, and it is the spinal cord, and then what's up top? The brain. This takes about 3 weeks to be able to start to form, but once this is created, everything, and I mean everything, quite literally stems from that. I'll also want you to be able to remember and remind yourself of the principle that the quality and status of your brain dictates the quality and status of your body, which dictates the quality and status of your life. That way, a lot of my people, it's not that you have a back problem, it's that you have a brain problem. I'm going deeper. All right, so after that this notochord in this brain is formed, these are the only 2 organs that are completely encapsulated in bone, meaning you got the skull, and then you have these weird looking bones called the vertebra. But keep in mind, these nerves go out in between these tiny little holes in the bones, and they quite literally innervate everything. Why is that important? Why is that relevant? This is the powerhouse, and where these nerves end and what they control, the organs, the muscles, the fascia, the everything. So when there's an issue in the brain, it impacts the histology, meaning the skin and the temperature of it. It impacts the organ function, all that which these nerves are connected to. It impacts the myofascia, so how the muscles and how the fascia are functioning. Because keep in mind, when the brain can't perceive or can't understand or can't see what's going on in our back, and I don't know about you, but I don't got no eyes on my back. Therefore, how do we get information up to the brain from the body? The spinal cord. Therefore, if there's a lot of collisions or there's a lot of stress and there's a lot of disease, or the body's like really holding on to things, that directly impacts the rest of the body because now the brain is stressed. And like I said earlier, when the brain is stressed, well, the rest of the body's going to be stressed. When the brain's relaxed, the body's going to be relaxed. And that's what I'm efforting to get my people to, because when I can help my people understand how their body's holding stress and how it has held stress and been beginning to hold stress accumulatively over the last few years, several years, decades. If y'all want to go really deep, how did your mama and how'd your father hold their stress? Coming back to that which governs everything else, the status of your brain dictates the status of your life. And as a chiropractor, my job is to be able to find what areas aren't moving as they need to, because these bones, they meet right here with each other, and where there's a gap, that's where the joint forms. That's what I'm actually adjusting and helping create some space for. So when I connect to the spine, I'm helping create space so that way the motion can restore and come back to the bones and come back to the spine, because then now these little receptors can be like, hey, over here, it's safe. The brain can now perceive, because the messages translate beautifully. Now the brain's like, oh, okay, I don't need to lock that area down and send these pain sensations, this anxiety, this depression, this IBS, these different stress signals and sensations, because the body can't be like, yo. So instead it uses non-conscious behaviors, sensations that we get to pay attention to or ignore. So why is this relevant, and why does it even matter to you? You only get one body. You only get one body in this life. Therefore, it is vitally important to make sure we're trying to get all of that which we can out of life. How much of this brain power do you want to get to your foot, or to your knee, to your glutes, to your organs, to your heart, to your visceral organs, so that we can digest the food? Do you want just a little bit, or do you want all of it? That's why for me, chiropractic is not about pain. It's about function. It's about adaptability. If there's one thing you take away from this video, for us, health isn't just simply the absence of symptoms. That doesn't mean you're healthy. Someone can be experiencing stage 4 cancer and/or drop dead of a heart attack, no symptoms. However, what it is our intellectual ability to adapt. And how are we adapting, and what does that even mean? Because I don't want to blow past how important that is, the intellectual ability to adapt. It's important to be able to appreciate, because when we can understand how are we adapting constructively or maladapting, the body's breaking down or the body's building up, well, now we can start to pay attention to the function, which the universal function and unit of life is motion. That's why I start with motion, and like I said this in my new patient exams, motion is lotion. May you never forget it. So when the vertebra can move as it needs to, and now the brain can now receive all the delicious information from all the nerves, well, now that we can start to function better. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is when health really starts to ensue. And now we're starting to be able to achieve what an optimal health even looks like, and living not just away or out of pain, but we're actually thriving, we're sleeping better, we're less anxious, and all these aspects, because this spicy piece of meatloaf is actually in a state of relaxation and parasympathetic versus chronic sympathetic, which means stress, parasympathetic, para, stop, sympathetic. Yes? A few other things that are important for your care. Basic aspects of health. Movement. You got to be able to move. Yes, that does say movement. Number 2, recuperation. Number 3, nutrition, or what you're eating and what you're consuming, of the mind and of the body. And last but not least, like I just said, mind. It doesn't matter if you're moving all day long, if you're moving from a lack of inefficient space biomechanically, that's going to create wear and tear. Just like if a car has a flatter tire, well, that's going to wear and tear. There's different compensations, which everybody is living out of unless you're aware of it. Recuperation. If your mind and your body or your brain can't be in a relaxed state, that's going to lead to disrupted sleep. That's going to lead to anxiety. That's going to lead to the body breaking down, because we're not meant to just keep going. We're cyclic beings. We're actually from nature. We're supposed to honor that rhythm. Nutrition. If you're not getting the information or the proper nerve flow to those intestines, to the gut, or the body's in a perpetually stressed state, your body doesn't care what it's digesting, and now your nutrition isn't going to be optimal. But it's also important to put good stuff into our mind and our body. That's why you got to watch what you're consuming, especially these first few weeks of care. Movement. I just want you to all walk. Recuperation. Take naps. Try to take a nap. And/or we'll start to pay attention to our sleep systems and/or the way that we set our evening. Last but not least, the state of your mind. State of your mind dictates the state of your brain, which is the state of your body, which is the state of the rest of your life. Follow me? So, with that being said, I feel like that's plenty in that capacity, but I at least wanted to highlight these 4 different aspects of health and what's the quality, and I'll write this over here, what's the quality of your nervous system regulation? I'm gonna go deeper on that. So along with those 4 important aspects to health, the last one, which is what I help you do as a chiropractor, is I help you regulate your nervous system. And I like to utilize this lovely piece of technology that gives me this great scan right here, so that way we can appreciate what's the overall status of your heart rate variability, which is a gold standard in measuring your adaptability, and what's the status of the nervous system, meaning the brain and spinal cord. With all that being said, I just want to give you a crash course. I could teach, and I have taught on this for hours and upon days, but I just want to at least give this initial video. Please ask questions in person, drop some comments, tell me if this makes sense. Let me know what resonates, what you're not clear on, as I can't wait to be able to teach more on YouTube, and I'm really excited to put more energy into it. So to my practice members, I appreciate you. My people on Soul Coffee, if you've been listening, I appreciate you. If you don't know what that is, it's my podcast. Take a listen, please. Come find me in Tucson, and man, maybe able to apply this. And do me a favor, share this with a friend and subscribe. Until next time.